Thank you. One of the biggest reasons we have this auction is for financial aid. And the students up here represent the number of students, give or take, that we represent. About 25% of our students do receive financial aid. And without me saying much, you've heard enough from me, but I want you to hear from a very special young man. He's a senior, he's been with us 2 years, but he's had a huge impact on our school. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce Alex LeBlanc Bona.
Good evening. My name is Alex LeBlanc Bona, and I am currently a senior at Edison High School. I am honored to speak to you tonight about how grateful I am for my school. My first 2 years were spent at a nearby high school in the Portland area. I'm keeping the name of the school confidential in order to protect the innocent. My time there was not the easiest, to say the least. I was having a hard time academically and struggled to keep my grades up. By the end of my sophomore year, I had nearly given up on everything school-related. I couldn't for the life of me understand why I couldn't get my act together. All the time, I was becoming more and more frustrated as all the feedback I received was negative. I didn't know how to improve my situation, which was extremely frustrating. My mom was realizing that I had practically given up. She persevered, nonetheless, and did her research. Her sister and several others all highly recommended Edison. She decided to work her magic and try to get me into this great school. I was tested when I was younger and found out I had ADHD. In those younger years, I didn't know what that meant. Of course, now that I'm much older and much wiser, I know that ADHD means attention deficit hyperactive disorder. In terms one can understand, it means I have a difficult time staying on track in class and after school when I'm doing my homework. One thing I've noticed that it plays a large role in my success at Edison is the teachers. They are the true core of Edison. They have always been extremely helpful in keeping me organized and on track. They make it easy for me to get help after school or by email after class. They're always ready to provide any help I have ever asked for. There are even times when a teacher has come to me because they felt I might need help with a particular assignment. The teachers even respond to my emails on their off time when I ask for them. Who does that? What I find most unique about the teachers at Edison is the personal relationships they have formed with the students. Every teacher I've had has been extremely respectful and caring to every single one of us. As one example, I remember last year, my mom got a call from Mr. Livesey, my math teacher. She assumed the worst. However, much to her surprise, he was calling to tell her how amazing I had been doing in class. This was the first time any teacher or school had ever called home with anything other than good news. Another example I will always remember was the time when Mr. Beard asked me to stay after class. At the time, I had a missing assignment, so I expected to get lectured. But instead, he helped me make a plan to make sure I would get my planet research project in on time or as soon as possible. This is just one of the many examples in which the teachers at Edison have been extremely helpful. The teachers aren't the only thing, though, that's been super helpful to me. My iPad has been a great tool. At first, I was extremely skeptical. But now I find it much more useful. I've always had a hard time keeping track of the papers in my busy binder, but now I don't actually have to worry about that. Sending me to Edison was the greatest decision my parents have ever made, other than having me, of course. I'll be forever grateful. Thank you, Mom and Dad. As you know, I love you guys. So, how have I changed in the short 2 years at Edison? Now, I have the confidence to ask teachers for help. I've been given the tools to be successful at Edison and beyond. Teachers have helped me to accept my learning difference rather than fight against it. I am no longer depressed, nor do I ever think of giving up. Quite the contrary, I am happier and more active and more engaged in my learning than I have ever been before. My family has seen firsthand the changes in me. My grandparents have even known to say that my attitude has improved dramatically even after 1/4 of attending Edison. Next year, I'm planning on attending PCC with a few of my closest friends at Edison. I hope to get into some form of engineering, possibly mechanical or aeronautics. Time will tell, I'm only 18. My experience at Edison would have never been possible without the assistance of Edison's financial aid program. Because of all of you, I'm able to attend a school that not only helps me considerably, but one I love. I understand last year, because of your generosity, Edison gave out approximately $300,000 in financial aid. This money went to my family, but more importantly, 30 other families, approximately the number of students standing behind me. Since I speak some Spanish and am fluent in French, let me end this important point with the words muchas gracias, merci beaucoup, and thank you. Thank you for listening to my story.
Thank you for standing up here, talking to us. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. Because this, ladies and gentlemen, right here is who Edison is for.